Hello and welcome to this video on how to set up OpenGL with NanoVG so that you can make panels quickly using Java with OpenGL like so. And then you can just copy this code almost literally and paste it in C++ to use any flight simulator. So I will be showing you how to set all of this up, and this uses the exact same library that the flight simulator uses. There's a couple differences, like here where you have to add the color, and then here you would just take that out, but that's fine. We can change that once we convert this to C++. So first of all, you need to go to lightweightjavagamellibrary.org or lwjgl.org, click customize, click zip bundle, not Maven or Gradle, click zip. Presets will be on probably minimal OpenGL, click on custom, and then you leave everything the same. You can put this math library in, but we won't be using it just because the C++ version will not have it. And then you scroll all the way down to here where it says NanoVG and NanoSVG. Just click on that and click download zip. Now once that zip downloads, it will be in your downloads folder. You can just open that and I will show you what to do next. So we're going to click new project. Will be Java, and I'm using Java version 16. You can use 14. I'm just using the latest version of Java. And then click next, give this a name, so I will do panel tutorial. And now you click finish, and I will just do a new window just so I can copy the OpenGL code to initialize a window. So on here, we're going to have a new file, so make a new class called .main. And here we just need to add the main method, public static void main, and then we have string that's an array args. Now in here we're just going to make the same that I had before, so it's window is equal to window.get, and then we do window.run. And now let's make the window class. So we'll make a new Java class called window, and this is going to be a singleton class, so private static window called window. And now we'll have a private constructor, and then we'll have the private run method or public run method, public void run, like so. This should work, except we need the get method, so we'll make the get method public static void get. If window is equal to null, then we're going to set the window is equal to a new window. And because this is in this class, we can access the private constructor, and then we just return the window. There we go. And this needs to be a window, not a void, and that solves our issues. So we should be able to run this and it should work. Now let's add OpenGL. You right click on panel tutorial, and then you can do show in Explorer, and then it shows you where this folder is. Now I already have the jars in here for everything, but if you didn't have it, then you would just take your jars, make a new folder, and paste them in here where you will remember. Now just because I don't have the NanoVG jars, I'm going to recopy them from the downloads. So you can see here is the custom release.zip, so I'm just going to open this. And if we scroll down, you should see NanoVG here. So we're going to take all of this and copy it. I'm going to add it into this panel tutorial underscore dependencies, like so. I'm going to take all of these and just copy it in. A lot of the stuff we're not going to use, but that's fine. Now, once we copy that in IntelliJ, press Ctrl Alt Shift S, and you should get this window popped up, and click Libraries, click Add, Java, go to that folder that you have your jars, click on the top one, shift select, click on the bottom one, or you can click on the bottom one and shift click to the top one, and then you click OK, and it adds all of those. You click Apply and click OK. So just for the sake of this video, I'm going to copy some code and I will go over what it does. I'm just going to copy this for the run method. And now let's make those two. So the init method I'm going to copy, and I'll cover what this does. So we just need to create a couple more variables. So we'll have a private long glfw window with a private int width height and a private string title. And that should get rid of all of those errors. So these I'm just going to remove for now. And then we need the loop method, so we'll make public void loop, like so. And then in the window class, we'll initialize the width, height, and title. So this dot width is equal to 1920, this dot height is equal to 1080, and then this dot title is equal to whatever title you want. Okay, so now that all of that's done, if we actually were to run this, we would get a window popped up and closed immediately. So in the while loop, we need to do while not glfw should window close, or should window close, and then we put in the window, and there we go. Now we have a loop. So in the top right, click add configuration, click plus, click application, and then name this whatever you want, and then click on the main class and click main. And if you accidentally, when naming this, pressed enter and it goes away, just click on that arrow, click edit configurations, and you are here. So we have it working now. So when we click run, we should have a window open, and it's just going to be completely blank for this moment and just do nothing. So what we need to do is glfw pull events, and now we do gl clear color, and you can import the static method. So let's first write it out like that. Import static method and make sure it's the one without the C. And I'm just going to make a basic blue screen, like so. And then you can do gl clear gl underscore color buffer bit. And you can import the static method as well. And at the bottom, we'll do glfw swap buffers. That should make it a blue window that we should be able to see and move around, and we can actually close this window and it closes the program. Now let's add NanoVG. So first thing you need for NanoVG in Java is you need to have the context for NanoVG. Now if you actually were to go to NanoVG GitHub and you were to look at what they have for the starting one, they have a context. So let's go to example and let's go to gl3.c. They have a context and it's an NVG context, but it's a pointer. In Java, that's just going to be a long. So we need to make a private long VG, and this is the context. Now we need to initialize this context. So how you initialize this is at the bottom. After you made the window, you do this.vg and you create it with anti-alias. Now I already set up anti-alias in OpenGL right here, and if you don't have that, it won't have anti-aliasing and it will not look that well. And now you can also just add this check. If it's null, then you make an illegal state exception. So I will also add that. And now we need the color to use, and I'm pretty sure you don't need this in C++, but for Java you actually have to have this. So the color is just going to be the NVG color, like so. So we will paste that in there, and now we have to initialize it. So we can do this dot color is equal to NVG color dot create, and that creates us an NVG color to use. Now we can actually use NVG, so we actually need to do a couple stuff. So after we clear the color, we will draw on top. So let's see what we have to do. So in here we have to begin the frame, and this just specifies the width, any height in pixels on the current window. So this current window, when I run, is 1920 by 1080. If I were to specify 100 by 100, we would only be able to use the first left-hand corner of the window, 100 by 100 pixels. It specifies the width and the height from the window. So we will paste that line in here, and now we need to end the frame. So we do end frame, and we pass any context. and we will import the static method. And in here is where you put your code that you want to use, same like Canvas. So we can do NVG begin path, and we can put the context in. Then we can do NVG rectangle. We put the context in, we specify the X, Y, width, and height. And now if we want to fill this in, because currently I don't think it will show anything, you do NVG fill color, you pass the context, and now to give it the color, you can do NVG RGB A, and then put F. And when we convert it to C++, we're going to only do A because it's bytes, and bytes are a lot smaller than floats, but for now just keep it as F because Java doesn't really cast it to bytes. And I will show you after this line how you would make it in bytes as well. So now you put the RGBs, so let's do 100, 200, let's do 255, and the alpha 255. The color, we have to pass that variable in that we made, and C++ you don't need to. And now we do NVG fill. And then we just pass any context, and that should fill a rectangle for us on the screen. As you can see, top left hand corner. Now that's currently white. I'm not exactly sure why that's happening, so we can go to the flight simulator panel and see what happens. So you begin path, you fill color, and then you fill. So we did fill color and then we fill, and that's probably because we need to add F after this. That might be the reason it's not working. Okay, well it looks like that color is white that we added. So now you can use NVG to draw whatever you want onto the screen, and make sure that you keep the device pixel ratio to 1, otherwise it might mess up some stuff. But you can use anything. You can put you can make it into method and put a long context in as well. So you can also change this color if you want to do the fill color something else. So you can make this to like a 0F, and then that will change the color to something else, to yellow right there. And that's how you use NVG. Now if you want to know how I made this, just because it's a little bit different than Java, basically in NVG you have this thing called a scissor. That's a rectangle box, and anything outside of this box on a current path that you have, so when you begin a path, anything outside of this specification here will not be drawn. And so I just draw a circle and cut off the edges, and that looks like the panel from the altitude indicator.